Hey everybody, welcome to my channel. Today we're going to be discussing a topic which has come up recently, and that is the state of 24 Sussex Drive, the Prime Minister's official residence, and whether or not Canadians should pay to have it either replaced or refurbished, because apparently it is unlivable. So I found this video online. Let's take a look at this video and see what Canadians think.
I would be in favor of refurbishing it if that's a possibility.
Immediately. Immediately. I think if elections get called today, Pierre Poilievre will easily win. Yeah, that's what I think.
That's a hard question. I really don't know. I mean, it's been ignored and neglected for such a long time. It'd be nice to be able to keep it for its historic value, but it's going to cost a lot to renovate it. It might be more efficient to simply start again.
Yes, I think they should.
So far they're interviewing older Canadians, either in middle age or a little bit older, and most of them are saying that the official residence should be renovated.
This is the Prime Minister's office. I would say the office has not been held by quality people for some time, but it's still important to have a new official residence. And even if it costs $100 million, it's a rounding error for all.
And this guy, of course, wants a brand new one, because apparently the old one is, the current one is very, very run down, and it's been infested with rats and all sorts of other critters.
Ottawa.
Yes, of some sort or another. I think that's another disgrace. I have a long list of disgraces of what's going on here. Yes, I think that's only fitting. Does any other head of state have to live with a bunch of cockroaches and whatever is in there? No. I mean, it's this business of always appearing to save money, and then things fall apart. Yes, she needs some kind of residence, a proper residence.
I don't know how bad of a state it is, and they talk about it all the time. I mean, it's been there for your renovations aren't cheap. I know, I've done them. But I mean, if the house is in bad shape, maybe. But I mean, that's up to someone else. That's not up to the Prime Minister to decide. I think it's up to someone who can actually give a fair opinion. And not a consulting firm like he always likes to go to, because that'll just cost us billions of dollars for nothing.
No, absolutely not. No. We can't be going around throwing money in that direction when we could be using it in other places where people really need it. That's just cosmetic. You know, we all live with that. I wish I could do all the repairs in my house every 5 years, but we can't. So that's a big no for me.
To me, it would be just the finances of it. If you can build something suitable, rather than spending all the money on trying to restore a building that's not restorable, that would be the way to go. Just a kind of a pragmatic approach to it.
I don't think it's necessary for Canada to invest in a new residence for the new Prime Minister. I mean, I don't know what situation he's in personally, but I am sure that he can pay for his own residence. There's no reason why taxpayer money should go towards that, and I'm fairly certain that's where it would be coming from, so definitely.
Yeah, so as we can see, there's a bit of a shift as the audience is getting a little younger. They're shifting more towards Trudeau should pay for his own residence, and we'll discuss that at the end of the video.
Definitely no on my end, yeah.
Official residence, like for him to live, for the Prime Minister of Canada to live, having the government invest in that? No, I don't think that's money we need to be spending that way.
No. I feel like they already have a lot of things they're investing in, especially like useless stuff like that. I don't know if it's useless. I think maybe it is. There's more stuff that we can probably invest in, like the city or just Canada in general, or like about the homeless people on the street and everything. They could build a shelter for them instead.
I think definitely down the road. I think right now there's a lot of other things that need our attention right now in our world, but I think it's a historic monument that has been used by many like prime ministers in the past. So I think if it's in talks in consideration of getting remodeled and refurnished and everything, I think maybe that's something that we should consider, but not as a primary. It's not a priority right now.
That's a tough question. I work in the environment, so I tend to want to repair what we have as opposed to tearing it down and creating new space. I know there are a lot of problems in the current residence, but I think historically I'd like to see that invested in rather than actually building something new that isn't in keeping with the historical tradition.
No.
Why?
They should fix the old one up.
Why do you say that?
It's a heritage building. It's been there for 75, 80 years. They have to fix that one. And that is 24 Sussex. It's prime property.
No.
See, that's a very good point, too. It is a historic building. It's been there for a very long time. He does need to have a place to live. But the Prime Minister actually has multiple places to live. And he's living in an alternate place that is owned by the government at the present time.
Why?
Because they are millionaires and they can rent whatever they is. They have to invest in the homeless people instead.
I would say yes, considering that the current one has sat unused for how many years and needs how many millions of dollars worth of renovations. So yes. I mean, I would like to see it kept as a heritage building because it is important, but if no one's going to live there, then it's not really serving its purpose.
Okay, so here you have it. You do have a little bit of, differences of opinion. So my opinion on this, when you look at how much the Prime Minister of Canada makes, he makes $357,000 a year, plus a little bit, almost $358,000 a year. The average Canadian makes under $64,000 a year. He makes roughly about 5.6 times what the average Canadian makes. He makes double what other MPs make. I'm not sure what cabinet members make, but he makes double what other MPs make. An MP has an allowance, a housing allowance, $50 a day plus a per diem. That's kind of reasonable because they do have to maintain a residence in their riding. And I believe what the schedule says, okay, so here it is, $50 per day for secondary residence, mileage 58.5, per diem rate, provinces and the United States, $126.75 per day for per diem. Exactly, and this is actually right out of the Treasury Board. This is for travel. When you consider how much he makes and how much the average Canadian makes, and when you consider that employees of the Canadian government who have to live in remote areas, so they are provided with houses, but they have to pay rent on those houses. They have to pay current market value. So for example, when I was in the RCMP, I worked in a few detachments which were isolated. There was houses. If you bought your own house, you would never be able to sell it. To have a mobile force, you had to provide housing. But we had to pay current market value as far as rent goes for that residence. Why doesn't the Prime Minister have to pay a little bit for his residence? That's kind of a question. Now, I understand the argument. This is a second residence, but there's at least two residences. He's living in an alternate government residence at the moment. Does the Prime Minister need a place to entertain? That's a huge question as well. And if he does, well, maybe there should be some sort of venue for that. And maybe it should be an official residence. But does he need to be paid almost 6 times as much as the average Canadian and then not have to compensate for living in a government residence? It's kind of a question I have. I think that there should be some sort of a formula worked out where if he chooses to live at an alternate residence, then he should be paid similar to what other MPs make and other government employees are paid. Should we maintain an official residence? So arguments of both sides. I think we kind of have to maintain some sort of venue because he does have to entertain foreign dignitaries, but I don't think that multiple official residences are really in the best interests of Canadians. I think it would be a wise investment to either refurbish it or rebuild it, but I don't think that we should pay the Prime Minister as much as we do unless he's paying at least a portion of his salary for rent. That's what all other Canadians have to do. I think that the Prime Minister is, entitled to certain benefits, but I think that he is a big waste of money, particularly this Prime Minister. So let me know in the comments what you think. Just keep it civil. Please like and subscribe to this video and hit the bell notification, and we'll see you on the next video.